So I have had the idea to do something a bit fun, and that is look at my human design now, 2.5 years from when I first had my reading. And this was the book I had when I was in Panama and I got my reading for the first time. And this was the day before I saw lots of dragonflies, and I wrote a message. It's all very, it's funny. I've really engaged with a lot of rage in the day before it happened, which was a really new experience for me, but I was being encouraged to by the girls that were around me. And I screamed in the face of one of the boys, the men that was with us, just because he was like, "How do you feel?" And I was like, how do I feel? I just screamed and screamed and screamed, and he was not happy with me doing that, because he said, "I expected that from the others, but you're not like that, you don't do that." And that was actually what was triggering me, was being looked at as Little Miss Perfect, and the reality inside was something extremely different. And I was on the precipice at this point. It's very funny. There's a huge part of me that wants to appease and to please, to explain and distort, to cripple the thought before it's caught. All that must go, to show you, to share, but to do this damages the process. You may need me to be able to be a certain way, but this expression must be released. I can't explain, I won't, but I tell you now, it will bring peace, eventually. When your guts and your glory and your ovaries have been denied for centuries, this hysterical scream that upsets you, well, it upsets me too, but imagine that living under layers of skin in the depths for millennia. For the first time, I make no apologies, I'm just getting started. And then I wrote, "This is what going deeper feels like, purge and surge." And it's hilarious to me but now, because this was nothing compared to what happened in the 2 years that followed it. But this was my first human design reading when I was told about my chart. And it looks like this. So open, open, open. Oops. All my centers are open apart from this one channel between my Ajna and my throat. So that was when I really found out how much of an empath I was. And it was funny, it was almost like there was 3 of us with this exact same chart in the same location in Panama, and it's very funny that we're all ended up there together, because we're actually an incredibly rare type, but we kind of found ourselves in that place, and it's and everything that applies. I've just seen so much in the years since I got this reading, and so many crossovers between the perspective of this kind of energetic makeup as a gift and as an extreme challenge. And when I see it in the societal perspective, I think that this empathetic profile comes out a lot in the borderline personality disorder thing, which is essentially when you can't control your emotions because you've been trying to suppress them to please other people, and then your will won't allow it to happen. And I've been learning a lot about the will, and when I did the holotropic breathing, so much came out and up to the surface, and it was like my mind was suddenly given a back seat, and the will just came forward, and all this emotion and crying and screaming came out. And I imagine that's a lot what these episodes are like for people with serious mental disorders, where they have, and I think they're only serious because of the people that are around them getting so terribly triggered, and then the feeling of hopelessness that comes with it. Everything is just a matter of your perspective. And in this society, this kind of chart is sensitive, and sensitivity is considered a real it's a bit of a detrimental quality. It's hilarious because it's so completely essential. But yeah, I thought I would reflect upon, because I've had a bit of a loop-de-loop with this, where I was completely empowered by finding this information out and feeling like, oh, this is me, this is what I look like. And all these white centers have been coloured in by the people that I've been around and picked up on throughout my days. And then doing charts of other people and seeing how they all linked up with mine and how I was getting my needs met through external places. And then I started doing a lot of readings for different people, and I found myself looking for approval in that way, and also negating my own self as a means to explain human design, by saying, yeah, these are open centers, you have a lot of energy in your sacral and in your solar plexus, I don't, and then I can feel you as well, I can feel your energy and it's very strong. And all the while I'm doing that for hundreds of people, every time I say that, I am reaffirming something in me that is like, I am weak, I am open, I am vulnerable, I am picking up everything from everyone all around me. And I just stopped. I just was like, enough. This is killing me. And then I got into more traditional astrology and started seeing all of my because this for me was amazing, but then I was realizing it was just so much, it's almost like lacking, because there's so many more depths to the human design, and I was just scratching the surface. And in this spiritual ego phase where I wanted to just share what I'd learned at that point, and it was actually adding a lot of value to people's lives, I don't know, egos, but I was really negating myself. Okay, this is my very first reading that I got, so I'll read it out. Open receiving, feeling external, receive energy from others, expression, inner reliable power, easily distracted from my own power. Defined Ajna center, analytical thinking. It measures and categorizes, it divides and conquers. A defined Ajna center has a consistent and reliable way in which it processes information. It feels certain of its opinions, concepts and theories, and can influence how other people think. Well, this is my Scorpio, Mercury and Pluto. So, and Mercury is my chart ruler, so it's all the mental function. So that's interesting. And it's fixed energy. Everything else, I think it can also be, okay, so there's the projector type and the reflector types in human design, but then there's the mutable type of energy in astrology, and then there's this borderline or bipolar or unable to control emotions, picking up too much from outside or from other realms, whatever, schizophrenia, these things. I think all of that is connected. 20% of humanity are projectors, but that is then divided up into many different types of projector. It's the most diverse type, and I'm the projector with external authority, so it's a mental projector, and that kind of limited me because it constantly said wait for the invitation. So open in my spleen, I notice the needs of others over my own. Must always surround myself with the best quality of people, food, the environment. Nature is healthy, the best place to shed skins from the past, help in my profession, never in private life. This is perfect. In my private life I have a very strong partner who doesn't require me to fix them for once. I've always been in the past drawn to partners and friends who I felt like needed me. Now I'm seeing how, because also like helping people when asked, helping people who really want, rather than looking for quality rather than quantity, because at one stage with this I was just trying to hit as many people as possible with this information, because I felt like it would save the world if everyone knew their design. But emotional center, the feeling the emotions of others twice as strong. So everywhere where I'm open, I feel things twice as much. Well, that's certainly true, and it's certainly why I shut down so many of my I would dissociate from my body so often because it was too intense. So I felt like I felt nothing because it was so extreme, and I felt so much numbness as a response, because I'd feel, and I had so many very, very dark things happening around me, especially to people close to me. So a lot of people I knew had close members of their families die, and I felt their grief, and I felt it extremely strong from a young age. And yeah, and this was the other bit of information of, that is why I'm so altruistic, because I really want everyone else to be happy, because then I start feeling better. So everything is done really from a selfish reasoning in the human being, and in any form of life, you know. There's nothing wrong with that. And to accept the fact that I have that resentment because other people are experiencing these emotions, and I like want them to be okay, so I actually feel better. I cannot change the mood of others. Serving doesn't help. Don't rely on others for my emotions. Yeah. I'm finding out how I was actually learning, how I was depending on people to enjoy my own life. I was dependent on others being with me to experience joy, like a fire performance. I needed to have someone with me to help me enjoy it. I'm straightforward and clear and can decide my emotions. This is also the Aries moon that I have, that is just, you know, it feels things strongly, but no accumulation, just process. So let me look at the chart on this application. The Investigating Martyr. At the conscious level, trying to investigate and explore how to build the foundation. At the unconscious level, learning what works through making mistakes. These people will challenge authority and establishments which don't work. First line people are investigators. Although through asking questions and constantly inquiring, they are building a foundation to step on. They ask a lot of questions and go into details of the problems. This is the Virgo. Those first lines that work with people typically study a lot beforehand by taking classes and participating in seminars and workshops. This makes them feel comfortable, as their investigation would not be complete without lots of details. Third line people are experimental and experiential in nature. They are bound to make mistakes, bump into the wrong people, get stuck in the wrong situation. Third line people learn from their mistakes. They constantly ask themselves, how did that affect me? Thus internalizing the results. Third lines cannot rely on someone else's experience to understand something. They must know it and try it, and they must try it to know it. Words are not enough for them due to their inward focus. They can't just watch someone else do it, but need to experience it so they know it and live it. Yes, Investigating Martyr. Well, I finally understood where this whole... Yeah, and that is the Virgo thing. And the Virgo combined with Scorpio is like... I think of someone with a magnifying glass walking along and then like straight into a wall, you know, looking, investigating, and then getting tripped up. But other things, since I had this reading, I was told about diet and told that I am best eating in direct light, and I've been doing that, only eating my meals, 2 meals a day at maybe 1 p.m. and then 5 p.m. and my digestion is just so much better. It's basically an intermittent fast, and it's been one of those beautiful things about slowly catchy monkey, just intermittent 17-18 hour fasts every day, and then once a week, one day, and that is the best way to detox the body rather than rushing into all these things, because I did one of these liver cleanses and it was just so harsh on the system. So just little by little. Yeah, my only definition is curiosity between the ajna, third eye, and the throat. So yeah, it's been really interesting to experiment with all these gates, the black and the red lines, and connecting them up. My partner has this number 59 to make the channel of intimacy. We both, so he has all of this defined and his head is open, and he has his spleen open, and so do I, but when we're together we connect it up and we create a full chart. So that's been really interesting to just observe when I first met him, and then I haven't looked back at it since then, but then I've had a 2-year relationship and watched it manifest and watched all the things that we have created together. And the thing he put to me was, because he wasn't keen on this in the beginning, was because it was so limiting, because it tells you essentially where your limits are, and he has none. But that's because he's been aligned with this from the beginning, so nothing has kind of infiltrated him, and for that reason he does have, of course he has his own intuition. Of course I have my own intuition. It's just, and this is the key with human design that tripped me up, is thinking, because I'm open in my chest, I have no heart. I have no emotions. I have no sex drive of my own, any of these things. Well, of course I do. It's just been so jaded and confused and kind of overlaid by the people that I've been around, that I've not been able to get in touch with it. So when I first met the woman who gave me this reading, she was just constantly saying to me, play, enjoy your life, stop thinking about other people, stop getting wrapped up in their dramas, learn to relax, learn to play, which again is something that came through in astrology later, with my Saturn in the 5th house. You need to enjoy what you do, and that will be infectious. And yeah, there was this part of me that was so enamored, is so enamored with all humans and all human potential, and seeing people see themselves. But there was a shadow side of that, which was I liked to be the person introducing them to that information, because then it felt like I have a purpose. So it's been a couple of years of really just embracing the fact that I am more than enough. If I never speak to anyone ever again, I don't need this external validation. And it's really nice now. I think I look more like this. I look more clean. And with Vipassana coming up, hopefully these things will clean as well. No speaking, no thinking. Just, a nice pure white canvas. And, so much peace. So much peace. I can't tell you. This was such valuable information when I received it, because I didn't understand myself at all before then. And it was a wonderful group of people that I was with at the time that were open enough. Everybody had their chart done in this group of about 20 of us, and I watched how the different energetic interactions were working, and it's fascinating. And I think it would be a dream to have a community where you all looking at yourself with that level of objectivity, and just seeing how everything is a construct and is a game, but equally needing to register that and take the time to be alone, because then I started looking around a bit like, oh my god, that person affects me more, oh my god, that person really is before then I was thinking, I didn't make the correlation that I feel crap after being near that person who also feels crap. I didn't correlate that maybe I was picking that up and taking that on. Generally I thought it's me making them that way, but they have their own thing, and so that is one of those borderline things of always feeling guilty and feeling totally responsible for the emotions of the people around you. But You can't be. It's completely impossible. And everyone's got their own whatever game going on in their head. So, yeah, it's been the medicine. This combined with astrology, combined with getting out of the head. Because this as well, it throws it back at me of like, get out of your head, get into your body, see what is actually going on in these places. And yoga, it's just been so healing, so such an important part of my arsenal. And being alone, limiting the people that I have in my life, deleting social media, yeah, learning to breathe. Quality of your life is the quality of your breath. And yeah, investigating everything. That's been really good, is taking the same energy that I am naturally born with and turning it inwards, turning it on myself instead of investigating down strange rabbit holes of the external world, going in my own rabbit hole, seeing what's in there. It's an amazing journey. Yeah, highly recommend Human Design, I really do. Yeah.